Hi BookTube, it's Stephanie. Today I'm going to share with you some of my favorite beginnings to books, and all except one I currently own, because that was the only way I could really check, oh, I love that book, does that have a good beginning? So all of the 8 books that I'm going to share with you today are beginnings of books that just hits me in the feels, or that I just think is funny. That's also a thing. The first book that I'm going to basically just read the beginning of is The Diamond Throne by David Eddings, and this beginning is more of something that's nostalgia for me. So I technically have 2 points of this, because at this point in time I never read prologues. Well, the first time I read this, I never read prologue, so yeah, there's that. I was, yeah, for some reason I didn't. So let's start with the prologue first. At the dawn of time, long before the ancestors of Suricum slouched, fur-clad and club-wielding, out of the mountains and forests of Semoth onto the plains of central Eosa, there dwelt in a deep cavern lying beneath the perpetual snows of northern Talicia, a dwarf and misshapen troll named Gwerg. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I can just be honest. Chapter 1. It was raining. A soft silver drizzle sifted down out of the night sky and wet around the blocky watchtowers of the city of Chimera, hissing in the torches of each side of the broad gate and making the stones of the road leading up to the city shining and black. A lone rider approached the city. He was wrapped in a dark, heavy traveler's cloak and rode a tall, shaggy roan horse with a long nose and flat, vicious eyes. The traveler was a big man, a bigness of large, heavy bone and ropey tendon rather than of flesh. His hair was coarse and black, and at some point in time his nose had been broken. He rode easily, but with the peculiar alertness of the trained warrior. His name was Sparhawk. Now, the thing with that paragraph in the chapter, that's almost exactly how Domes of Fire starts, and that is the trilogy that comes after this one, and I read that trilogy before this one. The feelings that I had while reading this one of frustration, I just go, I love that beginning. And again, the first time I read, I was like, oh, it was like coming home, because Domes of Fire was the first book I ever read by David Eddings. So to begin a new series and having that exact beginning, I loved it. It probably for most people is like a generic beginning, but as I said, I adored it. And I felt like I had to go with what the real beginning was, which was the prologue. But as I said, I did not read prologue at the time, which was like when I was 11, 12. No, I think I might have been 12, but yeah, I was in 5th year, if you know the Swedish school system. But yeah, so that was the one that kind of got in because I loved the book. Like, clearly. So it's just, I need to reread it. I need to. So the next one I have is from a novella, and that is The Black God's Drums by P.J. LeClerc. The night in New Orleans always got something going on, my mama used to say. Like this city don't know how to sleep. You want a good look? Take the cable elevator to the top of one of Les Grands Murs, where airship docks on the hour. Them giant iron doors swing the whole big mist on either side. Up here you can see New Algiers on the west bank, its building yards all shocked in factory smoke and workmen scurrying round the bones of new-built vessels like ants. Turn around and there's the downtown wards lit up with gas lamps like glittering stars. You can make out the other wall in the east over at Lake Bourne, and a fourth one like a crescent moon up north round Swamp Pontchartrain, what most folk call La Ville Morte, the dead city. I love this beginning because it gives you such a view of the city in which the main character lives in, and also kind of, I don't know, like a busy, it's not the glittering world, it's not like the beautiful glittering, it's not the glitter, it's like, if you want to see the city, go here and you will see the reality of things, because you will see the building sites and you will see where all the people go and all the bus, like, I just enjoyed that beginning, and it just made me feel more connected both to the city, New Orleans, that Clarke has portrayed in this, but also to the main character called Creeper. The next one feels, it's like a classic here on BookTube. I don't think there are many people who haven't read this, and that would have to be Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Everyone my age remembers where they were and what they were doing when they first heard about the contest. I was sitting in my hideout watching cartoons when the news bulletin broke in on my video feed announcing that James Halliday had died during the night. Yeah, that beginning is what this book is about when he died and his legacy. And why did I phrase that like a question? It's a good beginning, and I listened to this. I have actually not read the book, I listened to it. And the narrator, which is Will Wheaton, did a great job with it. And yeah, I was hooked when I started listening to it. And if I remember correctly, the last, like, I had the CDs for this book, and you can't speed up the CDs, which is frustrating. But so I had them, and I listened to them in normal speed, and the last 5 CDs, because I don't remember how many there were, but I know many, so about 5 hours, I listened to them in a row. Because I was so hooked. But I still think that this is one of the best beginnings to a story that I've read for a while. Because let's face it, I read this 2 or 3 years ago, and I still remember that, which I think is a sign that this was a really good beginning. Let's go back to, let's go 16 years back in time to when I read The Chronicles of Amber. This is an omnibus that I got several years ago, and The Chronicles of Amber is by Roger Zelazny. I don't know. I do not know. But obviously, the one that I will mention is from the first book, which is Nine Princes of Amber. It was starting to end, after what seemed most of eternity to me. I attempted to wiggle my toes, succeeded. I was sprawled there in an hospital bed, and my legs were done up in plaster cast, but they were still mine. I squeezed my eyes shut and opened them 3 times. The room grew steady. Where the hell was I? I know where he was, because this is, again, I remember this story from me reading it 15 to 16 years ago. I remember it, and I did not reread the series, which means that I feel like I have to now, and just reading those and knowing what that meant. Yeah, again, probably not the most original beginning per se, because how many stories aren't there about a main character who wakes up and has no idea where they were? There are plenty, but this was the first one that I read, and yeah, I think this was the first one I read, and just the way everything was built up, I just adored it. And this whole series is 10 short books, and I have 9 of them I'm still looking for. Blood of Amber. I'm still looking for it. But yeah, this is the omnibus of the first 5 books, and for some reason they never come out with one for the other 5. They just have a massive one with all the 10 books. I'm not gonna get that one. But yeah, that beginning for me, it's this, I could tell you, if I just read the synopsis, I will be able to spoil everything in the book for you. Maybe not like details, but I will be able to tell you everything, like without any problems, and I have not read this for 16 years. Yeah, great beginning to a series. The next one we have is, I read this year, and I will have to say it's brilliant start. I will read the English translation because I have this edition, and it's The Martian by Andy Weir. This is Swedish edition, and yeah, the humor shows in the first couple of lines. I'm pretty much fucked. That's my considered opinion. Fucked. I love that start. Yeah. I'm not in the center. Have I been like that the whole video? I'm not gonna change anything. But yeah, I love this book, and the beginning was absolutely brilliant because it's my kind of humor with a lot of swears and just go, well, shit, I'm gonna die, what to do now? And those couple of lines there in the beginning pretty much sums that up. 3 more books, and I have 2 middle grade and 1 adult. So let's start with the next middle grade, and that is The School for Good and Evil by, oh crap, Soman Chainani. I read this several years ago, and I have to say, the beginning of this still makes me smile. Sophie had waited all her life to be kidnapped. Like, what the fuck? Why would you, like, what? Yeah. I really enjoyed the story. I do have some issues with it, because as soon as I said it, I was like, well, I did not like those things, and I would stay by that, but I still really enjoy the story, and I really need to continue reading this series. But that first line, just, she has waited her entire life to be kidnapped. Yeah, that sounds like something you really want to happen to you. Yeah, right. Obviously you want to be kidnapped. Yeah. Then we have a novella, and that is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. I love this series, and I still have not picked up the network effect, but I need to. But the first paragraph in this, brilliant. I could have become a mass murderer after I hacked my governor module, but then I realized I could access the combined feed of entertainment channels carried on the company's satellites. It had been well over 35,000 hours or so since then, with still not much murdering, but probably, I don't know, a little under 35,000 hours of movies, serials, books, plays and music consumed. As a heartless killing machine, I was a terrible failure. I was also still doing my job. I love Murderbots. And the last one, a middle grade, is Please Don't Tell My Parents I'm a Supervillain by Richard Roberts, who has a not that attractive art picture, to be honest. If I just do like this, it's like, seriously? Okay, you went for it. I love this book, and this is none of the short lined one. On the last day before I got my superpower, I was sulking because I didn't have a superpower. I love that. So yeah, this was a long video. Let's see how much I will cut out. To be fair, that would probably be a lot. But yeah, long video. That's some of my favorite beginnings. Honestly, if I had Terminal Alliance by Jim C. Hines, that probably will also make this list, but I don't have this book right here in front of me, so I can't do that. But yeah, please tell me some of the books that just starts in a way that make you smile, that you just think are the best. See you next time. Bye.